Hey everybody, it's Drew with Drewfab. I'm back here again to make another video. This one's going to be about one of my new products. I'm really excited about this product. It's a solution to a problem that I think most people didn't know they had. But nonetheless, it's something that I think is really cool, really unique, and I've been posting a little bit about it. I'm sure everybody's seen a few pieces and snippets about it here on Instagram and Facebook and whatnot. So here it is. So this is a tubing coupler. Anybody that's kind of built roll cages has probably used them. They're pretty common when you got to bolt stuff together or when you have to make a removable cage, things like that. The typical ones have a different type of mechanism by which they bolt together than this one does. And so here's how it works. So there's three pieces of this system. You have the piece here that's got threads in it and a taper, and it goes into a tube like so. This one's designed for 1 3/4 120 wall, so it slides into the tube. And you have another piece that's got a fish mouth on it, or a notch, or a cope, or whichever you might want to call it. It also has a counter bore, and then a taper on the other side. And these two fit together, okay, like this. And there's a third piece. This is the third piece here. It's a little, it's a piece of tubing, effectively, but I made these out of round bar. And it has a little fish mouth on it, and it goes inside the counter bore, inside the fish mouth piece. So all three of these fit together like so. So if you're going to put them together on a Jeep or truck or whatever, you would slide. So these will, if you were to buy these from me, these two pieces will be assembled and they'll be oriented appropriately for whatever tubing. Okay, you slide them together like this, and in this case they're not assembled, or not welded together, so I got to kind of play with it. And then you'll see this fits really nicely on the tube, and then that tube goes all the way through to the other side, and the fish mouth on it fits really nicely in there. All this stuff CNC machined. Nothing's kind of half-assed. Everything's really good. So this piece has threads inside of it, and it goes in like this for the taper. And then what you would do is you'd take your roll cage or whatever, your piece of tubing, and weld it on the end here. So you might say, well, how do I attach this? I mean, what am I doing with this, right? So what you would do is you would put a bolt through this side right here. These are threaded for 1/2-13. That bolt threads into this piece and then sucks this piece into this taper. And then this piece is obviously welded onto it. So that pulls all of this together and holds it together. So what's really cool about this, in my eyes, is this is really clean. You don't have fasteners hanging out. You don't have an excessive number of joints or weld joints or anything like that. And to the untrained eye, you may not even know that it's bolted together, because all you're going to see is a weld joint and a very small seam right here, and that's it. It might look to the untrained eye like it is a standard weld-in, weld-together roll cage. So one of the other things that you'll have to keep in mind when you're doing this, if you do buy these from us, is you have to have access to the back side here to be able to get your socket head cap screw, your Allen head out. That's one important thing. And the other thing, or there's two other things. One is you have to make sure that this tube that you put in here can be disassembled this way. It cannot lift out, okay? It has to be pulled apart linearly, okay? That's really important. And then the third is these are manufactured, these things, these fish mouth pieces, these are manufactured at a 90-degree angle. These are perfect, or damn near perfect. Perfect for all intents and purposes. And so that means your tubes that you use these on have to come into the other tube at a 90-degree angle. There are other ways around doing that, but for now that's what we're doing. We're sticking with a 90-degree because you can make that work in a lot of applications. So you might say, oh, well, that's only one bolt. My other ones that I got have 2 3/8 bolts, and they're, you know, crossed and things like that, and they're really good. And how do I know this is going to be as strong as those or stronger? Well, if you do the math, right? So this has a 1/2 inch, 1/13 bolt, right? So if you do the math, a 1/13 bolt, so the one that I've identified for these is an Allen head, which is an alloy steel, has a tensile strength, the material has a tensile strength of 170,000 psi. If you go on the low side, on the minor diameter of the fastener, I just, for kind of ease of calculation and just to be conservative, I chose 430 thousandths of an inch diameter. And then what I also did is then calculated there the area, and that gives you a tensile strength. It gives you how much force is this thing going to take to break. So in the case of a 1/2 inch fastener, that comes out to about 26,000 pounds. So that means you'd have to have 26,000 pounds pulling these two pieces apart in order to break that bolt. And if you're moving it in shear, it's not going to happen. You're going to have to shear this steel off. And in most cases, you're not going to shear the steel. You might break a weld or break next to the weld before you're going to do that, because the material itself is stronger than that. So you're not putting the load on the fastener. The fastener, all it's doing is holding this taper to that taper. And once they're put together, they're extremely strong. Tapers are very strong. That's what's used in machine tools and on the spindle. And so that's really, really critical for this application and why I think it's so special. So that's just a little bit about this part. The part number is DF1012-100, and they'll be available here before too long. I've got a handful of them extra made. I made several for this job I'm working on right now, but I've got a handful of extras. I will get them up on the website and available here before too long. I'm kind of working out the e-commerce details. But once I get all that worked out, you'll be able to buy them from me. So one thing I wanted to say too, notice I'm wearing a Mock Motion hat. So I made these guys on my CNC mill that's powered by Mock Motion. Been really, really impressed with not only the controller, but the people and the service and everything else. These guys are great. They respond to you really quickly. The retrofit has been phenomenal. It went together fantastically. I can't say enough good, quite honestly. So these guys have been helping me out a little bit, and I figured I'd throw them a bone too. So if you guys have a machine, a CNC mill or whatever, and need a retrofit for electronics and control, hit those guys up. They're really good people, and they really work with you, and they help you get what you need done. So looking forward to making more of these videos. Took a little break from the fastener series, but if you like this one and you like to see more of them, please give me a like and a subscribe. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I want to see more viewership, and let me know what I can do differently. I'm looking for feedback. I want you guys to tell me what you want to see and what I can do differently to make these things more interesting for you. So hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.